Hello, everybody, and welcome to 2025. I know I'm a little bit late to the game, but we've had a really exciting entry actually to 2025, and that has kept me really busy. So up to now, I haven't had a chance to tune in. So this podcast is me talking about some of the reflections I've been having the last 3 or 4 weeks coming into this new year, thinking about intention setting, thinking about what this new sort of energy has in store for me and for those in our community and for our team, and what we are all super, super excited about in this new year. First, I just want to wish you all a wonderful and happy and blessed, healthy, joyous, peaceful, calm, and inviting 2025. And I would like to also share that my word for this year is defiant. I love the word because it is a word that brings up for me stepping out of the status quo, challenging myself to be uncomfortable. When I think about defiant, I think about unlimited potential in the sense that I'm not even sure what that potential is. It's not like I have my eye on something, but I am going to be defiant about figuring out what I'm capable of. I also think about challenging norms, stepping out of expectations, trying something different and new, and making sure that I am firmly entrenched in the discomfort zone. The discomfort zone for me is all about growth, learning, and accelerating my skills development, my just challenging what I can do physically, mentally, and emotionally. Which brings me to my first reflection of 2025, which is that resilience is not built on the sidelines. Um, that sounds like a pretty straightforward statement. We know that to go through hard things is what I think builds our thick skin and makes us tougher mentally and physically. But I also want to say that because I've heard a lot of people, especially in our world where people are coaches and they're starting new endeavors, they're either bringing coaching into their organizations, they're what we call early adopters and challenging paradigms within their corporate spaces and bringing a coaching mindset. Or they're just becoming skilled at a culture and coaching mindset that already exists. There's also people who are leaving long-time careers to transition to a new career of coaching, more of a position of coaching younger generations to achieve some of the things that they've achieved in their careers, and to share that space with someone else where you can hold great questions from the wisdom of your experience to help others tap into their own wisdom. So there's that kind of transition out of a long career into a coaching practice. Then there's the people who were really just left everything behind and said, I want to be a coach. And they want to start a coaching practice as a full-time position or gig, whatever you want to call it. I like to think of it as a way of life. And those people are very committed to the business endeavor of coaching because they have to be, a business person. You have to have business acumen when you want to go on your own and build a practice, whether you're a consultant or an entrepreneur who hires and has a team behind you. Either one, you need to have a certain mindset of building business. And so these are the different profiles that we often see come through our community. And each one of them is really uniquely positioned to explore what they're capable of. Each one of them is going to go through some learning curves, some, plateaus and some peaks. and some troughs because that is what learning is. And my point is that we can't build the skills that we need to handle the challenges that we don't even know are coming yet unless we are in the driver's seat and we are doing the work of failing. And failing is so important to progress. Failing is the only way to progress. What failure is information. It's information that you get to hold and say, oh, what do I do differently now? What's working and what's not working? And so I'm excited to reposition or reframe failure this year for myself, which I feel like I've done that work quite a bit. But for the entrepreneurs coming through, or for the new coaches coming through our community who are hesitant about building a practice or hesitant about starting a new leadership style, or hesitant about, leaving a very comfortable career to go as an independent. Or even the independent coaches who want to build their practice and up their game and become certified and accredited as a professional coach and, position themselves to attract more business. Each one of those scenarios, you have to be in it to learn and to capitalize on the opportunities of failure. Failing is exciting when you think about it. And why do we have this negative sort of relationship with failure? Many of us, it's because we came through a school system that said, you don't get the grade, you fail. You don't get the 60% pass, you fail. And that led to, questions of self-worth. It chips away at your confidence when you fail on a grade. It also has this social context around it. So failure very much is ingrained in us as children in the public or sometimes even private school systems, where we are told that failure is bad, failure is negative, failure is something to be avoided. In fact, if we're not failing, we're succeeding. So this whole sort of opposite has, been born of this. When we fail, if we're not failing, we're succeeding. And I want to succeed, so I have to avoid failure. But I'm here to say, and maybe a little bit controversially, I don't know, but I am here to say that you cannot succeed without failure. And you cannot figure out how to improve, how to shift, how to innovate without first having been through the mud. Because in the mud is where the lotus grows. In the mud is where you start to see the ideas that will work. You start to open a window to new perspectives and new possibilities. And sometimes the failure hurts more than others, absolutely. And sometimes it's harder to get out of the mud than others. However, the question that I've asked myself and that I've said already on this podcast, and I'll say it again, is how is this happening for me? When I ask myself that question, it positions me in a completely different energy than if I say, why is this happening to me? So the how is this happening for you question is about positioning yourself for possibilities, and not the why question, which is positioning yourself for justification, looking for reasons why. That is past focused, and that's not helpful for what's next. Because one thing I know for sure is you can't get time back. Time is not an infinite concept. It's a finite concept, right? We all have a certain amount of hours in a day and we can't get them back. And so what we do with them really, really matters. And I want to spend my time focused on learning from what I have already done and what has already been, to position myself to expand my knowledge, my experience, and my understanding of what is possible next moving forward. So always respecting the past, but living in this moment to create my future. And that is a really important part of how we get unstuck when we fail. When we can ask the question, what is this happening? How is this happening for me versus why is this happening to me? The other thing that I've been reflecting on is a journey that I've been on. I know that I often tell the story to people who are new to our program that I was first exposed to coaching through a program called Strategic Coach, run by Dan Sullivan and Bab Smith. I was lucky, like picked out of the sky, star lucky, to have worked with, to get a job with an entrepreneur when I was fresh out of university. I had graduated from McGill, and within weeks I was working for a very entrepreneurial man in the financial sector. And he put me into this program, and I figured out yesterday that it's about 27 years ago that I did this program. And yesterday was a full circle moment because I got to go back to that program, but instead of being in the assistant team program, which I was when I was in my 20s, I went in as an entrepreneur. And I have a team with me going into the program. So I have 4 team members who are diving into this with me, and I am the entrepreneur who is going to learn how to grow and expand our business. And I was so just mesmerized by, first of all, the very same strategies that I learned 27 years ago actually subconsciously led me to what I have today, which is this company and the mindset that I carry with myself everywhere I go. This growth mindset that is very much connected to coaching is what has helped me to figure out how to be an entrepreneur, because I honestly did not come by this naturally. I mean, it was a very organic process, but it wasn't like I was born to be an entrepreneur. I had a lot of market research to do. Everything I did before becoming an entrepreneur was market research. And it certainly helped to position me to make better decisions, to take risks when they were needed, to raise my comfort level with risk as well, and to challenge myself to be a leader, which I'm not sure that I spent much time thinking about what makes a good leader. However, that experience in Strategic Coach 27 years ago absolutely shaped my perspective, my mindset, and my what I believed was possible when it comes to talent and human potential. So also just challenging myself to, it's a very practical exercise of creating better systems for time, freeing up my time to do what I'm really, really good at and not distracting myself with the things that I shouldn't be doing, that I'm not good at. Working on putting more emphasis on activities that energize me versus the ones that deplete me. Small little things like that, paradigm shifts that help to, first of all, shift your entire being 1 minute, 1 day, 1 week, and 1 month at a time. Which leads me to my next reflection, which is that we are on a journey of becoming as humans. We are all becoming. Every day is a chance to become. There's no success in life. There are milestones. There are achievements. I'm about to graduate from Harvard at the end of May. That's a huge achievement for me. It's a milestone in my life and my career, but it's not done. There's more. There's maybe a PhD after that, or there's more learning and more specialization, more growth to be had. We don't end anywhere. We are always beginning. Every day is a chance to begin. And so when people tell me, oh, I'm too old to learn, I'm too old to go back to school, Okay, well, you're going to age anyway. You might as well age smarter, better, stronger. There's no, this concept of success or arriving is a misnomer in my mind, because we don't arrive. We become every day what we want to be. We work towards becoming what we want. And sometimes we fail, and we fail miserably. And then we get up and we do it again. And as long as we're reflecting and learning as we go, I think that is the opportunity. That is the point. How much can you learn from this life? I guess that's the big challenge, isn't it? We don't know what we don't know. We have no concept of what we don't know, because it's not within our field of awareness. If it is in our field of awareness, we know. We know something about it. We know it exists. But most of what I'm talking about is the things that we don't even know we don't know. And that's where the ultimate possibilities lie. And that's what I believe coaching does, is we question people, we inquire, we get really, really curious to help people think beyond their current ways of thinking, beyond what they already know. So when we think about coaching and we think about the support that we offer others, my next reflection is about the partnership of equals that coaching is. Coaching is unlike any other helping profession in my mind, because of that very principle, that it begins with a partnership of equals. It begins with the thought that you and I are more alike than we are different. And therefore, I'm going to partner with you instead of leading you or pulling you to where I want you to go. I'm going to say that I accept not knowing where you are, what you think, what your experiences are, and what your perspective is, and what's good for you, and what would work for you. I accept that I don't know. I want to approach this with an alien mind, we often say, or what we call beginner's mind. Means no preconceived notions, no assumptions, no judgments. I'm entering a space where it is for you and not about me. I'm there to hold the space. I'm there to be sure that you feel seen, heard, and valued in that space so that you can do your best thinking. And when I say that, I'd like you to think about the last time somebody approached you to share an idea and you were distracted. Or flip it, you approached somebody to share an idea and they were distracted. And you're trying to get your idea out because they invite you in, but yet they're not giving you their attention. And you're trying to explain what you thought, or what this brilliant idea you had, or this thoughtful process you're in. And you're completely distracted by the fact that they're texting, or they're writing a note, or they're putting something away, or they're, I don't know, even talking to somebody else. It's almost virtually impossible for you, the thinker, to have clear thoughts when you are being interrupted and derailed, really, with the distraction. And the distraction is all about, don't you see me? Don't you hear me? Don't I matter to you right now? I'm talking to you. Am I not important enough for your attention? And it might be conscious or subconscious, but that's really what's going on. And that derails our ideas. So first and foremost, if you're a leader and you have people wanting your attention, either you can't give it because you don't have time, then say so. Or you have it and you have 5 minutes, then give them your all for 5 minutes. But try to stay out of the in-between space, because you're not doing anybody any favors. In fact, people who are extremely brilliant on your team may appear to be scattered, overwhelmed, disorganized with their thinking, when you are trying to multitask while listening to them, because all they're doing is thinking, am I not important enough for you to give me your attention? So you actually miss the opportunity to hear the brilliance. And in fact, what you get is disjointed thoughts, because they can't think clearly when you're not present for them. So as I say that, Coaching is a partnership of equals. That means we meet each other at the same place, on the same field, eye to eye. And the reason that I think this is brilliant in coaching is because no matter how much you learn about strategies, skills, competencies as a coach, you are always inevitably still human. And so you are unable to see your own confirmation bias, your own recency bias, all the biases, right? You can't see what you are not aware of in yourself. And it's virtually impossible to raise that awareness unless you're recording yourself everywhere you go, then perhaps that would be possible. But we don't do that unless you're maybe a social media influencer and somebody's recording you all the time. But then we're editing out the stuff we don't like. Well, we do that all the time as humans. We edit out the things we don't like. In fact, that's why memories are so unreliable, because we edit our memories to match our dominant belief system, what we want them to tell the story of. The story of me is one that I want to tell, so my memories will feed that story. And so they're not actually accurate. And the more, apparently, the studies say, the more you tell a story, the more it changes. Each time it changes, and the further away it gets from the actual truth. So we're great storytellers. We're meaning-making machines. We have bias, all kinds of bias. I think there's like 20-something, maybe even more types of bias. I can't remember right now. But just to say that we are, no matter how educated we are as coaches, we are still more alike our coachee than we are different. And that's why we all need to be coached. Coaches need to be coached, which is why I went back to strategic coach yesterday, because as a coach, master level certified ICF for many, many years, doing this work, creating the programs, accrediting the programs with ICF, Harvard education, behavioral psychology is my specialty or my focus with Harvard. I have read thousands and thousands of books and written many, many papers, and I still need a coach. I need a coach to raise my awareness to a level that I can't attain without somebody reflecting back to me what I can't see and I don't know. And that's why I think coaching is such a wonderful coming together of people. And that's also part of what creates the safety. It's that humility that a coach has, the humility to be equal, the humility to leave your ego out of the conversation, the humility to leave your expertise behind you in favor of the coachee's expertise, their own inner wisdom. Nancy Klein says the mind that holds the problem holds the solution. The mind that holds the problem has the answers when we give space and time for people to think about those answers in a safe environment where they feel supported and they feel your belief in them, genuine belief in them. So all of that to say is I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I'm really excited for what's next. We are growing and thriving in our community. We have so many great things going on. We are opening up slowly but surely our community membership to people in the outside of our programs. And that is an exciting shift for us. We've been working on the membership offer and tweaking and adding and growing. We have ICF mentoring hours that are included in our memberships. We have skills labs. We have coach clinics, which are case studies. We have live coaching demos. We also are adding the psychology of coaching. We are adding supervision to the offer. We have great values, exploring coaching from a values perspective, sessions that we are also delivering. There are so many great offerings. We have unlimited coach exchanges. We have a toolbox of incredible tools, over 500 tools that I don't even know if anybody could ever get through them all, but they're there for you and organized by category or by the type of coaching you're doing or the type of issues that you're trying to tackle. And we also have a beautiful, rich community of diversity, of people from across the globe, different professions and industries at different stages of their lives and careers. And that to me is the absolute greatest value of our community. So we're not open yet. June 1st is the target date, but we are opening up to special early entry, as we call them, people who would like to try out the community. We are inviting a certain number. We haven't decided on the number yet, but we will soon. We've already had a few inquiries. So we are going to assess the demand, and we're going to allow a certain amount of people each month until June to come in and try the community and to experience the gift that I wish I could bottle, and this is the way to do it, is to package it into a community offering. Because one thing I know for sure, and I know this because of my own experience, but also from just speaking with other coaches who are on a journey of professional development, it's really important to stay close to people who are doing what you're doing and believe what you believe, who are connected to growth and to self-improvement. Because we know that the influence of the people we spend time with is very, very strong on our goals and our progress and how the decisions we make, how we decide what to do and what not to do. So we have created a community of like-minded people who are all invested in their own personal and professional development. And we've not only done that, but we've done that with people at the head of this community who are people that you would have to pay $300 or $400 to spend an hour with, when we're giving it to you for $55 a month, all in. And that is unheard of. Like we're doing that because our objective is to multiply the impact of coaching, which means volume. We want volumes of people. We're banking on having a lot of people for you to collaborate with, for you to share ideas with and brainstorm and practice this craft. It's a learning community. We have a learning community of adults who are unlearning old practices and jumping into new practices together, feeling supported, feeling kinship with each other, and also expanding their wings to include new friends for life. Sometimes I'm hearing people have developed friendships that they never ever expected to have in their lives, people who have connected in ways that they never imagined. And so it's a wonderful thing to belong, to feel connected, to feel like you found your people. And we are excited to build a place that coaches, professionals, people who are curious about human potential, people who are curious about their own potential and what they can bring to their relationships, whether it's corporate, professional, or personal. This is an opportunity for you all to come and discover yourselves through each other. I love that line of Statler when he says, coaching is a place where people meet themselves for the first time through the coach. And I believe that this happens among the coaches in our community. The peer coaching that goes on is an opportunity for the coaches to not only learn a new skill, but to be coached. And that being coached is where the line, the first life to change is your own when you become a coach, that's where it came from, because it's true. When you are coached, you are experiencing the power of coaching. And you are being seen in a way that maybe you've never been seen before by your colleagues and your peers. And then that allows you to have a profound self-discovery that is, I honestly don't know where else you could benefit or engage in that kind of connection. So all that to say, I don't know if you can feel my energy, but I'm really excited, really pumped for this new year, new endeavors, new opportunities, and new failures that will teach us so much. So I'm really excited to fail and to learn and to pivot and to grow. And I hope that you are too. I hope that you have had a chance to reflect on what your energy is for this year, what energy, what intention are you putting out into the universe, into your life and into your endeavors. And I really would love to hear from you all. If you're listening and you're enjoying this session or enjoying the podcast in general, let us know what you're up to. What are some of your intentions for 2025? What is becoming all about for you? You have a quick, if you're on YouTube watching, you have a little view of my newest coach in our family. Harvey is the brand new coach to the Coach Academy community. Harvey was born in November, so a very young little kitten that we're trying to coach in our home right now. So anyway, thank you all for listening in. I hope you keep tuning in. And please leave comments, questions, and I'm curious to really hear from you on what you think about some of the reflections that I've shared today. So enjoy your week, everybody. We're back with a new guest next week, and be sure to check out last week's guest who, not last week, sorry, the week before, 2 weeks ago. We had an amazing guest, a very senior MCC, by senior, I mean experienced coach, MCC level coach. Pat is his name, or Patrick, PhD. Somebody I met very early in my career who I've really enjoyed learning from over the last years and exploring concepts in coaching. So be sure to tune into that session for some real gems, a lot of wisdom there. And we'll be back with a new guest next week. Thanks, everyone.